So speaking of those winds, if you do not have to be outside today, don't. The winds have kicked into high gear, wreaking plenty of havoc, including a brownout, as you see there, on Highway 93 between Boulder and Golden. And it is proving to be tough to drive as well. While some semi-trucks have been pulling over at times, the wind did catch at least one driver off guard. That was on I-70 East, and it blew the truck right onto its side near Lookout Mountain. So it's good to be careful when driving next to them in these conditions, so have that at top of mind. Some sections of roadways have been closed because of the wind, and we'll have Brianna Fernandez here with us in just a moment to speak on that. There are 3 semis that were pushed over by the wind on Highway 93. The first, which Jefferson County Sheriff's posted video of here, happened between Highways 128 and 72. The semi is blocking all eastbound lanes, and CPS says it's leaking 30 gallons of fuel, but there are no reported injuries. The other rollovers on 93 happened near Golden, where the semi driver was injured and taken to the hospital, and also at Rocky Flats Plant Road in Jefferson County. No one was injured, but the car is leaking fluid. You can check cotrip.org for all the highway closures. And although it is obvious in this wind, do not light anything. A small spark can grow quickly. So let's head on over now to Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact team to find out how long it will be like this. Keely.
Yeah, we've got windy conditions all the way into Saturday. A change on Sunday, that includes snow actually in the forecast. So a lot of everything in our forecast, but do want to talk about the high winds. That's the big story today. We have a weather impact alert for today because of those strong winds. High wind warning for the mountains and the Front Range foothills, as well as for the northern plains along I-25 close to the Wyoming border. Those winds very dangerous. Also, as we just showed you in the foothills. This goes until noon tomorrow. We're talking about wind gusts 80, 90, possibly even 100 miles per hour. So very dangerous. Also have high fire danger because of these strong winds. The I-25 corridor out to the east as well. That relative humidity down about 15. And it will take just a spark to create a fast-moving, very destructive wildfire. So weather impact alert for today because of those winds, red flag warning, high fire danger, the strongest winds really west of I-25. We talked about it in the foothills where we're already seeing those problems, critical fire weather as well. These conditions will continue again, lightening up a bit tomorrow, but we're going to see strong winds all the way through Saturday. 69, that's our forecast high for today. So we are going to see those high winds again continuing throughout the day today into tomorrow and Sunday. We've been tracking those winds out along Highway 93. That's where we find meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen right now at this noon hour. How's it feeling out there right now?
Hey, Keely, you know, I can tell you that the winds have subsided substantially over the last hour or so. We're still getting those 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts at the moment, but it's kind of given me a chance to clear the dust and everything out of my eyes and the ears, because between the 8:30 and 10:30 hour, those winds were really rocking, and we had an all-out dust storm here at Highway 93, and it's still closed at the moment. You can see Highway 93 and 72 intersection here at the base of Cold Creek Canyon behind me. It is still closed from this point to the north for several reasons. We keep on getting these plumes of dust going over the highway, reducing it to zero visibility. And we also have a tractor trailer that's still down, covering part of the lanes that they have not been able to pick up yet. So even though the winds have subsided right now, I don't really expect them to open this lane of highway here to the north all the way up to Highway 128 for 2 reasons. We still do expect those winds to have another burst of probably some extreme conditions here along the base of the foothills over the next couple of hours. And we really don't know how much dirt is still left on the other side of the highway. We saw quite a bit of it get stripped out of there. And the reason why we're seeing an abnormal amount of dirt and dust in the air is because of a grass fire that happened right back here, burned 130 acres of tall prairie grass that is normally right in front of the flat irons here. But with that now burnt away, there's nothing to hold the soil together. So it's just pulling that out of the ground and across the highway. So there's no telling when those plumes of dust will come back over. So they're keeping this road closed for those two reasons for right now. So we're keeping an eye on that. We're keeping an eye on the visibility issues because of the dust. We're keeping an eye on the high wind issues with the blown over tractor trailers, possibly even some broken power lines that can be broken at 60 plus mile per hour winds. And also there's the underlying factor that the grass fire danger is very high with these high winds. So lots to keep an eye on this afternoon as we continue into this weather impact alert because of these high winds. I'm meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen reporting from Cold Creek Canyon. Back to you guys.
All right, Corey, thank you. Speaking of those high winds, Larimer Sheriff's Office is calling for mandatory evacuations after a fire broke out near Fort Collins. So the evacuations are Terry Lake Road, south to Vine Drive. Also mandatory evacuations on Highway 287 west to north, Overland Trail. That is the evacuation map right there. Again, mandatory evacuations for a fire in Fort Collins. No word when it started, and we are continuing to learn more. We will continue to bring you updates as we learn them. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check in with Brianna Fernandez with the traffic. Brianna.
Yeah, Sam, actually, we've issued a traffic impact alert, and a lot of our CDOT cameras are freezing now because of the windy conditions that we are seeing in northern Colorado. And that's kind of what you're seeing right now. Our camera froze, and that means the cameras in that area are just not working anymore. So then Highway 93, not far from where Corey Reppenhagen was just located, we were also seeing the crews right behind him because there is a closure in that area. So let's switch things over to our main maps and let's talk about all these closures that we are seeing. So zooming into Highway 93, this is where Corey Reppenhagen was giving us an amazing report of the conditions out there. Now that purple shaded area, that is a full closure that's happening on south and northbound lanes of Highway 93. So this is between Highway 72 and Highway 128. Now let's talk about northern Colorado. Colorado State Patrol, they are saying that they are seeing a lot of semis flipped on its side because of those windy conditions. And you can see that purple shaded area also seeing closures. So this is all happening north and southbound I-25 between Prospect Road and all the way to the Wyoming state line. Now we also have another closure just north of Greeley. And you guys, I'm sure we're going to see these closures all throughout the day. So please take it nice and slow this morning and later this afternoon as well. So Highway 85 closed in both directions between County Road 108 and the Wyoming state line. And like Sam just mentioned, please stay up to date with either 9news.com or Code Trip for all these full closures.
Brianna, thank you. Breaking news out of Michigan, FBI agents and police are at a Jewish synagogue outside of Detroit investigating reports of an active shooter and vehicle ramming incident. Also just in, the alleged shooter is dead. That is according to police there. So this is happening once again. You can see the large police presence almost blocks down. This is happening at the Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield. And at this time, it is unclear if there are any injuries. The local sheriff's office said teams were working to clear the building. The temple calls itself the nation's largest Reform synagogue with 12,000 members. The Jewish Federation of Detroit has advised all Jewish organizations in the area to go into lockout protocol. So what that means is nobody can come in or out of your building. We'll continue to follow the story here in 9 News. And once again, the latest update is that shooter is dead. We also have breaking news out of Virginia where 2 people are hurt after a shooting at Old Dominion University in Norfolk. The school says a shooter opened fire in its business school building this morning. The shooter is dead, though it's not been released how he died. We also don't know if the shooter has any connection to the school. Classes have been canceled and the campus is closed for the rest of the day. All right, let's bring you some more news over here locally. An 11-year-old boy in Centennial is accused in the death of his 5-year-old brother. We first told you about the little boy's death yesterday here at noon, and the 11-year-old now faces a first-degree murder charge. However, investigators have not said how the child died. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office did say the 5-year-old was killed Tuesday night at a home on South Jericho Way near Himalaya and Smoky Hill. A neighbor told us he often saw the brothers playing outside together and fondly remembers the younger boy knocking on his door to say hi and ask for snacks.
I miss him a lot because we got so used to seeing him around. And it's going to take a long time for us to get used to the idea that something like this happened right down on our street, and especially to such a sweet little kid.
Truly tragic. The boy was a kindergartner at Timberline Elementary.